It's the Ratchet Sage. I'm here to talk to y'all about how you can manage your changes in your life with authenticity in ways that make sense for you. I want that for you, so we're going to be talking about that a little bit today. Well, actually a lot today, because y'all know I like to break things down and go deep with things. But before we do that, and let's get into my theme music so that we can get started with this live stream as only we can. Yes, we are talking about how you can manage change with authenticity, and I want to welcome you to my live stream. This is where creatives, visionaries, innovators, coaches, and entrepreneurs, those of you I call authentically distinct folks, all up in the house, people like you and me, we come together and we focus on being our authentic selves for greater joy, impact for ourselves, but also for those we touch with our unique gifts, talents, and abilities. And today we're going to be talking about how you can manage change in ways that are authentic to you and that keep you in an actionable, safe space. We're going to be talking about that, and I'll be dropping the link at the end of this so that y'all will have the slides from tonight. But in the meantime, let's go through what we got going on here in front of us. I really want to talk about this concept. There is a way to do change management in ways that are authentic to you, but it ain't gonna look the way it looks for other people. So I'm gonna be talking about that today. But since I am your guide to power, agency, and freedom today, let me introduce myself. I am Ebony L. Green of Authentic Distinction. That is where I help authentically distinct and neurodistinct folks develop deeper connections and impact in their life, their career, and their business without compromising their authenticity, their desires, and their values. I am the only certified life and business coach who will teach you how to use authenticity to create actionable safe spaces. That's what I call them, actionable safe spaces. And you're going to need those for yourself and for others. And I do this by guiding you to make sense of the greatness in your head without judging your truth, your worth, or your creativity, because that's how you're going to be able to bring your ass or your actionable safe spaces everywhere you go. That's how you grow, shine, and do the most. And that's exactly what I want for you, because I am the unapologetically known as the Ratchet Sage, because I'm not playing with your greatness and I refuse to see you ashy in these streets. I want you to know that your impact has the capacity to be distinct, and therefore you have the capacity to be extremely valuable and sought after, and that this only happens when you have safe spaces so that you can shine in your authenticity and your unique capabilities. And that is the core of my work, teaching you how to develop clarity, confidence, and resilience in what makes you authentic, so that you have the ability to create actionable safe spaces everywhere you go for scaled impact, because that's what I want for you. So what I would say is, when we're talking about managing your change so that you can have A.S.S, or actionable safe spaces, the whole time, I can tell you that everybody in this world is dealing with change. But it's during this holiday season that a bunch of stuff starts coming up, and you realize change is in the air, whether it's because the new year is coming up, or you got to decide who you bring with you to the Thanksgiving or the holiday dinner. All of these things start coming up during the holiday seasons, and you start thinking about the changes in your life. You start thinking about the changes in your love. You start thinking about the changes in your work. And I want you to be clear on how you can maintain an actionable safe space while managing the changes in your life. So today we're going to discuss what it takes to authentically manage change in ways that allow you to stay in an actionable safe space. I want you to be able to answer these questions. How do I grow from my past? How do I stand 10 toes down in my present? And how do I fearlessly activate into my future when everything keeps changing? Right? That's what we're going to be talking about today, and that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So let's get into this. Like I said, everybody is dealing with change. So when you think about change in your life, your relationships, your career, or your business, I want you to think about what comes up for you, because whatever does come up for you is what you came here to have bubble up so that you can do something about it. I want you to drop a comment in the chat and let me know your thoughts, whether you're with me live or you are joining me for the replay. But while y'all do that, I'm going to share some things with y'all that come from my own thoughts and from my own experience. I know that we tend to want to believe that we know exactly how to grow from our past, and that we will learn all the lessons there are for us to learn when things change. But that doesn't just happen. And I find that in my work as a coach that most clients think that as long as they survived a change, they managed the change in ways that honored them and where they want to go and where they want to be. And this is a huge misconception. If you stick around, you'll learn why this is not true. In my work training transformational coaches and impact-based entrepreneurs, I find that both new and experienced business owners think that they must be standing 10 toes down in their power because they have a successful business that manages change as they come up. As changes come up, they are able to manage them, so they must be standing 10 toes down in their power. But this is not true either. There's ways for you to be managing changes in ways that are not honoring you, and you still be standing in your power. You're just not standing in as much power as you could have. So to be clear, growing from your past, standing 10 toes down in your power, and managing changes is the way for you to fearlessly activate into your future. I do not want to discount that. That's important. But what I'm here to share with you is that you don't grow from your past by surviving and moving on alone. And your clarity and confidence in your truth is going to dictate your resilience in your present. And if you want to fearlessly activate into the future, you need to get clear on how to master growing from your past and standing 10 toes down in your present. Because despite whether those changes are welcomed or unwelcomed, you will not be able to fearlessly activate into your future until you master growing from your past and standing 10 toes down in your present. And if you stick around, you'll understand why I stand 10 toes down in these statements, because it is this confusion surrounding how you manage change within an actionable safe space. That's what I call it. That is what is at the root of what we're discussing today. Because if you don't know how to manage change in your life, your love, and your work, how can you stay in an actionable safe space when you are alone or even when you're with others? So today I'll be breaking all of this down for y'all because I don't want y'all to get out of actionable safe spaces. I want you to bring your ass when you're dealing with change as you go through into the next year and as you're going through whatever you're going through during these holiday seasons. So let's get into why growing from your past requires more than just surviving your past. When you are growing from your past, it happens in life, love, and work. So you can grow from your past in life, you can grow from your past in love, and you can also grow from your past in work. But let's talk about why people don't do that. Why are people not growing from their past? It's because they are dealing with the ashy side of growing from the past. They're focused on their part, meaning someone else's part in what happened to them in their past that was unfavorable to them. Something happened to you, you didn't like it, and you're focused on what someone else's part was in that. Anytime that is happening, you are dealing with the ashy side of growing from your past. When you are focused on your shame, shame is what you feel when you are not proud of who you be or who you have been in a situation. Sometimes you're not proud of who you were in the past. Sometimes you're not proud of who you have to be today because of who you were in the past. But either way, all of it is shame. And when you're feeling these things, if that's what you're focused on, you're on the ashy side of growing from your past. That's not the best way to grow from your past. And also, when you're focused on your guilt is what you feel when you're not proud of what you've done. Either you're not proud of what you did in the past or you're not proud of what you have to do today based upon something you did in the past or something you were in the past. That's all your guilt. And when you're feeling that guilt and you're focused on it, that again is the ashy side of growing from your past. This is not the way to grow from your past in a way that's authentic for you. You don't want to be doing these things. So what is the lotion? I hear you saying, Ratchet Sage, what am I supposed to be doing instead? Well, instead of focusing on their part, I want you to understand all parts. And I want you to start with yourself. Because usually what happens when we're trying to focus on our past and think about how we can grow from our past so that we can manage changes that are happening to us today, we are struggling with understanding all of the parts of what happened back in the day. So we're so focused on their part that we don't understand the part that we could have played. We don't understand the power that we held in those situations. And so when you can understand all parts of it and you start with yourself, it'll better help you understand their part. You'll better help you understand parts of it that you cannot affect, that no one can affect, like environmental parts, socioeconomic parts, systemic parts. There are parts that were played in things that happened to you in the past that you could not control, and another person in that situation couldn't have controlled either. And I think when you understand all of the parts and you start with yourself, it's just a much more healthy place to come from when you're trying to grow from your past. And that's where you're going to learn those lessons that'll help you manage change and maintain ass today. Other things that we do wrong, like I said, we focus on our shame. Well, when you're focused on your shame, you are not proud of who you have been, or you're not proud of who you need to be today. I would say give yourself grace. You cannot always be right. And so when you understand that in the past you may not have been right, and therefore you couldn't do right, and you've got this shame and you've got this guilt, if you've got this path to grace and faith for yourself, giving yourself grace allows you to say, listen, I'm not always going to get it right. I'm not always going to be right, but I know I have been right. I know that there are times that I have been right in the past, and it's not always going to be today, and it's not always going to be tomorrow. But when I am right, baby, I'm right. And when I'm wrong, and it's okay. So give yourself that grace. That'll allow you to stop focusing so much on the shame, and that will allow you to grow from your past. In addition, you want to have faith in yourself. Instead of focusing so much on your guilt, I feel guilty about this, I did this, I don't feel good about it, focus more on the faith that you can have in yourself, because you cannot always do right. But think about the last time when you knew something and you just decided, I ain't gonna be right and I ain't gonna do right. That's very rare for most people. I mean, some people are just assholes and that's just how it goes. But there are many people in this world who are just like, if I would have known better, I would have been better and I would have done better. And understanding that about yourself allows you to give yourself grace and have faith in yourself. How many times did you know better and you had the capacity and the capability to do better and you just said, damn that, I'm gonna be a piece of shit? Not many times does that happen in your life. What usually happens is you're not giving yourself enough grace, and so you're focusing on your shame. You're not having faith in yourself, so you're focused on your guilt, and you're so focused on the parts that they played, you can't see the changes that you can make for yourself. And this is one of the things that block us from managing change and maintaining an actionable safe space when we're trying to grow from our past. So what I would recommend the lotion is, you can see it here on the screen. I want you to understand all parts, give yourself grace, and have faith in yourself, because this is the way that you're going to be able to develop and listen to your inner compass. And if you don't learn how to develop and listen to your inner compass, it's very difficult to discern, decide, and deliver. You're going through life and stuff is happening. You try to manage this change. You got to be able to discern what is possible for you and decide on, out of all of those possibilities, what you're going to go towards and work towards. And then you need to deliver for yourself. You don't just decide you're going to work towards it and then not work towards it. I mean, that's just not useful. So the idea is for you to understand all parts, give yourself grace, and have faith in yourself so that you can develop and listen to your inner compass. What are your insides telling you to discern, decide, and deliver on? And that's how you'll be able to manage change and maintain A.S.S when you're talking about growing from your past. But when we're talking about standing powerfully in your present, again, that's going to happen in your life, in your love, and in your work. And I don't want you to get it twisted. There's a reason why people cannot stand powerfully in their present when it comes to life, love, and work. There's an ashy side to that too. And the ashy side of standing in your power has everything to do with, again, what you're focused on. If you're focused on their desires, you're going to be on the ashy side of standing in your power today. We're talking about your current space, the present. You're focused on what other people want, your present's going to be all the way messed up. You will not be standing in your power. You might be standing in someone else's power. Likely you're standing without power, and I don't want that for you. Another thing that we do to stay on the ashy side of standing in your power is we're focused on our needs. When you are out here focused on your needs, when you're trying to be out here standing in your power, you're coming from a place of lack. And that is either because you are focused on your needs or you're focused on your lack. That is not what you want to do if you're trying to stand in your power and make some powerful changes today by standing in your power. So what's the lotion, right? If you don't want to be out here ashy, what's the lotion? Well, I want you, instead of focusing on their desires, I want you to focus and center your desires. I want you to start with self again. Because when you are clear on what you want, you can go towards that and attract other people who are feeling that. You don't got to be worried about, well, they want this. I don't necessarily want it, so let me try to do it anyway. Not going to work for you. There's no people pleasing that's allowed when you're trying to get to A.S.S. Actionable Safe Spaces does not occur when you people pleasing. Instead, you want to focus and center your desires. And it's not that what other people want doesn't matter. It's their business. It's their responsibility to accomplish that for themselves. It is your responsibility to focus and center your desires. That is how you're going to be able to focus on yourself and show up powerfully in the present. Another thing that we do, like I mentioned earlier, is we focus on our needs. And instead of focusing on your needs, I want you to give yourself permission, right? You're always going to have a need. You can't possibly always know what you need to know to get to where you're trying to go. So give yourself permission to be a student. Give yourself permission to fail. Give yourself permission to figure it out. This is super, super important, and we don't always do that. We're not giving ourselves permission to know what we know and to know what we don't know. right? I don't know that, and let me go be curious and find it out. Instead, we're so focused on what we need that we're not out here giving ourselves permission to go and get what we need and go and connect with people who have what we need. We're not giving ourselves that permission because we're so focused on our needs. This is another way that we don't stand powerfully in the present. Another thing that we are not doing is we're focused on our lack. And when you're focused on your lack, you're not having faith in your efforts. And that's what I want you to do instead. I want you to have faith in your efforts. You may be lacking today, but there are efforts you can take that are going to get you to where you want to go. And for you to say, well, because I lack this, I won't be able to get this accomplished. First of all, that's just not true. And there are many times when you'll be able to utilize your efforts to get something across and get something accomplished that you wouldn't have been able to get accomplished if you did not, even if you did have that thing, if you were focusing on your lack. So don't focus on what resource you're missing, what system you're missing, what connection you're missing. Focus on having faith in the efforts that you are taking, that you know are getting you closer and closer and closer to the changes that you want to have in your life. This is how you will maintain an actionable safe space. If you focus on their desires, your needs, and your lack, you will not be able to hear and follow your inner compass. We talked about developing it so you can listen to it, but if you can't hear and follow your inner compass, again, you won't be able to discern, decide, and deliver. And I don't want that for you. So I want you to focus and center your desires, then give yourself permission to know what you know and to recognize that there's going to be things you don't know, and that has never stopped you before. In addition, I want you to have faith in your efforts because you have always lacked. You cannot always have. And there's going to be times when you just don't have, but you can still get something done. You can still be all the things you want to be, even though you might have that lack. So hear and follow your inner compass by focusing and centering your desires, giving yourself permission and having faith in your own efforts. This is how you stand powerfully, 10 toes down in your present, and you can be powerful and make changes that you want to make and maintain an actionable safe space while you're doing it. Last but not least, I want you to fearlessly activate into your future. And again, you can fearlessly activate into your future in your life, in your love, and in your work. And while it may not look the same in life and in love and in work, it's really, really important that you stay away from this ashy side of activating into your future. When you are on the ashy side of activating into your future, you are focused on their support. And you're also focused on what other people are being and what other people are doing. That's just a very ashy place to be. You can't even see yourself when you're focused on their support and what other people be and do. But I also find that people be really focused on cash, clout, and chaos when they start thinking about the future. Things become chaotic. They start reacting to everything. They're trying to figure out how much money they can make. They're trying to figure out how many followers they can get. How many people can I have checking for me, engaging with me, listening to me, buying my stuff, signing up for my things, instead of focusing on the lotion. The lotion to all of this. I don't want you focused on their support. I want you to prioritize uplifting and supporting yourself. Again, start with self. Because if you don't uplift and support you, the support that you are even looking for from other people is not going to come. You may get support from people, but it's not going to be the support you're looking for. When you uplift and support yourself, you are teaching people how to support you in your vision and where you're going. And that's super, super important. So I want you to prioritize uplifting and supporting yourself instead of focusing on trying to get other people's support. Their support will come if you prioritize uplifting and supporting yourself. In addition, I want you to give yourself distinction. Instead of focusing on what other people be and do, I want you to focus on what you be and do that everybody else cannot be and do. Because quite frankly, you're not going to be able to shine everywhere, okay? You're going to be able to shine where you're meant to shine. So if you show up focusing on what makes you distinct in your being, what makes you distinct in your doing, and how can you showcase that everywhere you go, you will be focused on what you be and do. You will not have time to focus on what other people be and do. And by doing this, you will be giving yourself a level of distinction in life and love and at work, whether it's career or entrepreneurship. And this is how you will know where you shine. Because you cannot shine everywhere. But by being distinct, you're going to show up and people are going to be like, you know what? That's amazing, but that's not for me. And you're going to be like, that's what's up, but I'm going to be distinct over here until I find and attract the people who are for me. That's what's up. And until you give yourself distinction, you're going to be out here focusing on what other people be and do, trying to either do that or trying to do the opposite of it instead of just doing and being what you're here to be and do. In addition, instead of focusing on cash, clout, and chaos, I want you to be having faith in your impact. The impact that you are here to make is going to bring you cash, clout, and a level of chaos, because getting into, bringing your vision out into the world and getting it into the spaces that it needs to be is going to be a little chaotic, because it's so much work and there's so many moving pieces. But you don't have to be focused on cash, clout, and chaos. It's going to come as you focus on your impact. And I want you to have faith in your impact. Your impact in the past has brought you the cash you needed. It's brought you the clout you needed, and it's brought you the chaos that you needed to get to where you are today. So trust in yourself. Have faith in your impact. Give yourself distinction and prioritize uplifting and supporting yourself. This is how you will be able to not only hear and follow your inner compass, but actually act on it so that you can discern, decide, and deliver. This is super important. So I just gave y'all the lotion for how you can deal with change from your past, change in your present, and change going into your future. Because I don't want y'all out here trying to manage change and then losing your ass. I want you to have your actionable safe spaces as you're going through the changes that you're going through and the transitions you're going through. And for many people, the holidays and going into the new year is a transition. And I wanted you to be able to discern, decide, and deliver as you're going through that. Because managing change, let's explore it. It's a very powerful process. You're looking at timeless you that is ever existing and just here, offering all of this energy, all this amazing that's here to be got. Whether it's mess or greatness, it's amazing, and it's all you. And that timeless you changes. Your truth and your identity changes based upon your desire, what you choose to go after and what you got going on. But when you're trying to handle your past you, you're trying to get clarity because you lived. There's a past truth, and you want clarity on that past truth. When you're talking about the current you that you're trying to stand powerfully and show up powerfully for, that's the part of you that lives. I live, right? And you have a current truth. You want to have confidence in that current truth. And I'm going to teach you how to do that, okay? In addition, you have this future you that impacts with your future truth. And this brings resilience. And we're going to talk about that as well. So next Saturday, we're going to talk about how to transition from your past self, because I went in your past truth so that you can say I lived and be able to manage change in an actionable safe space with that past. In addition, the Saturday after that, we're going to talk about how to accept your current self, because that is how you'll develop the confidence to live your current truth. And the last Saturday of this month, we're going to talk about how to increase your impact in the new year so that you can use that future you are cooking up today to develop resilience and your impact so that you can have a future truth. Because at the end of the day, I refuse to see y'all ashy out here in these streets. I don't want y'all without a legacy you that delivers, that shines, that is your whole ass truth, your whole actionable safe space truth out there for everybody to see with this timeless you. When you are able to go deep and do some self-introspection and some self-reflection and get clarity in your past you, confidence from your current you, and resilience from your future you, that is the way you can deliver legacy you to everyone you come across in life, love, and work. And I want that for you. And I'm here to ensure y'all know how all of this works so that you can apply the lotion that makes sense for you so that you can get to where you're going for that legacy that only you can bring into this world. I've said this time and time again on all of my social media platforms. You are here to be and do what you are here to be and do. If Einstein don't Einstein, we don't get Einstein. If Maya Angelou don't Maya Angelou, we don't get Maya Angelou. It's very, very important that you show up to be who you are, because that is what the world is looking for. And if you don't have clarity, confidence, and resilience in that, and you don't know how to deliver through your desire, you're not going to be cooking with hot grease, and I want that for you. So like I said, the Ratchet Sage will not have you out here ashy in these streets. So this is what we're going to be talking about this month, is how you can do change management with A.S.S. I want you to have an actionable safe space as you are managing changes in your life. I want you to manage changes in ways that are authentic to you. So I want you to think about what I shared with you today about how you can manage your past, your present, and your future, and how all of that affects your capacity to handle change. I want you to think about what your takeaways are from today's discussion, because whatever you are taking away is what you came here to get. You can drop it in the comments for me. You can hit me up in the DMs or a private message. I would love to continue the conversation with you, because at the end of the day, the way you manage your past, your present, and your future is going to affect your capacity to handle change today and tomorrow and the day after that. And I want you to be clear on that. So we're going to be talking about that this month in November. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, if you're joining me live and you're catching the replay later, I will put the link in the comments so that you'll be able to find my slides from today. You can always use that. There will also be various buttons in those slides with ways that you can connect with me and work with me to activate what you've learned from me today. And whether or not you're an entrepreneur or not, you can book a free consultation today and we can have a private conversation about what it will take to get you the clarity, confidence, and resilience for you to be in an actionable safe space in your life, your career, or your business. And for those of you who are ready to learn and get some shit done, come get some shit done with folks who are clear in their past, their present, and their future, so they are flourishing in their life, their career, and their business. In my community, we clarify your vision so that you can conceptualize it and begin building it in the real world. It is time to get your big vision out of your head and into the real world where everybody can be impacted by it. And you're going to need other visionaries and their knowledge to do that. I built a whole community for us to come together and activate our big visions, and you can join for free today. Who are we? We are creatives, creators, thinkers, philosophers, change makers, activists, community organizers, coaches, healers, entrepreneurs, and business owners. And you can join us in my Think Chat Masterminds community, like I said, for free today, and let's get some shit done. And for you coaches in the room, I do have more for you, but I do want to say when it comes to my Think Chat Masterminds community, like I said, you can get in for free. There's a great opportunity for you to join me in my work group office hours twice a week, 2 hours on Saturday night, 2 hours on Sunday morning, where we can come and talk about what you got going on, make a plan to figure it out, and we can actually get some things done for free. But if you want to do more in the community, I do have complete access, gold and VIP access, where you'll be able to get private sessions with me and do more things with me within the community. There's a lot of community events, and you only get access to the work group office hours if you have free basic access in the community. So I do want to make that clear because I got a question about that in the DMs, and I wanted to be clear about that. But for you coaches in the room, like I said, I have more for you. I do not want you out here ashy in these streets. So for those of you who are ready to learn and get some shit done, you can join me in my signature series of coaching programs that are designed specifically for coaches who want to stand out in this oversaturated industry on their own terms. What do I mean by oversaturated? Y'all know what I mean. Everybody and their mama out here calling themselves a coach just because it sounds good, or they think it's the best way to describe what they do because they don't really know what they're doing. Quite frankly, coaching is a healing modality. Coaches should be taking people from a self-defined point A to a self-defined point B in such a way that it is transformative. And if you cannot guarantee that to someone, then you should stop calling yourself a coach. But if you are interested in becoming a coach and learning more about what being a coach is about, you might want to join me in my live webinar. The next one is going to be on December 21st. And I will be talking to interested coaches who are interested in being a coach. Or people who are interested in becoming a coach. If you've ever been told you would make a great coach, I think you should be a coach. If you've been thinking about becoming a coach, this webinar is for you. You're going to learn what the 5 pillars of authentic coaching power are so that you can decide whether or not coaching is for you. It is a great start to getting into the coaching industry and deciding, yeah, that's for me, I got what it takes, or you know what, that's not for me, and maybe I should be calling myself a strategist, an advisor, a motivational speaker, because none of those things are a coach. And so I wanted to make it clear that webinar is what's going to allow you to know what is for you and what's not for you. In addition, my 4-week workshop is where you can find out what is my coaching specialty. What do I coach on that no one else in this world coaches on? What am I going to bring to people as transformation that they can only get from me? And what are the steps that I take someone through to develop that transformation? That's the 4-week workshop. And if that sounds like something you're interested in, you can always catch me in that live private experience. I offer it all year. I just only do it for 5 coaches at a time. And right now I have 2 slots available. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you join me in that 4-week workshop, because it is the only way to get into my 3-month intensive, the Coach Academy, which is what everybody wants to get into. But right now I've made it as a private invitation only because I want to make sure that you're ready to stand next to me in this oversaturated industry and disrupt it. We're going to get into this industry and we're going to let people know I have a solution. I'm actually here to help you. I'm not just here to sell a thing to you and get you into my course and have you buy a new thing because I need money. I'm actually here to provide an impact that I actually created in my own life. I went through the mud, I got out of it, so I can help you get out of it and help you get through it too as well. And that's what my coaches are here about. And I want to make sure that you're ready for that. So I do my 3-month intensive by private invitation only, but that's where we go through all of your offers, your authentic coaching process, your authentic coaching method. We figure out your client avatars and your target market. We get you really clear in how you're going to activate those steps that you take clients through that they can only get through you, and we turn all of it into offers that are completely outlined out and framed out so that you can go and build them when we are done with that 3-month intensive. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, come join me in my Unlock Your Expert Coach Academy today, and we'll be able to get some shit done. But for those of you who are not ready to take action or invest yet, you can always book a free consultation with me so that we can discuss the best next steps for you. I want you to get to an actionable safe space for yourself, for your vision, for everything you got going on in your life. I don't want you stuck out here ashy in these streets, all right? And I do ask that you follow me on social media and help me beat these algorithms. I am at Authentic Distinction everywhere except for YouTube and Twitter. That's where I'm at True Distinction, and you can catch me there at True Distinction. So at Authentic Distinction everywhere else except for YouTube and Twitter, where you will find me as at True Distinction. Y'all know they out here trying to silence Black, autistic, and ratchet folks everywhere, and I know y'all won't let them do that to me, so follow me today and help me beat these algorithms. And in the event that you clip anything I've said today, please tag me accordingly for attribution and homage, because they're also out here trying to steal ingenious, indigenous, innovative greatness because they don't know how to authentically manage change in their own life, career, and business. So they just out here stealing stuff from people. They're just ashy and stuff. It's not their fault. They haven't had a chance to work with the Ratchet Sage and get to an actionable safe space. So let's amplify authenticity so you and yours can bring your ass or your actionable safe spaces everywhere you go. You come across something that's amazing, you've read something that has moved you, send people to the source so that they can go and get that benefit as well. And those are my bring your ass next steps for y'all after you've heard all of this from me today. I know you want to get a better hold on how to manage change and maintain an actionable safe space. And if you wanted further support after our conversation today, I wanted you to know that I am here as a solution with the knowledge, strategy, resources, and tools to keep you in action that is born of your authentic agency. I will be live the same time and same place on these social media streets, and I will be talking about how you transition from your past and still maintain an actionable safe space. That's what I'm going to be talking about next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can catch me live or catch the replay. But come next week and let's unpack this, and don't forget to bring a friend so that y'all can come learn together from the Ratchet Sage. And this has been a great conversation today. I really appreciate y'all being here and catching the replay, but y'all know what time it is. It is time for me to close out this live stream. So here's my countdown. I want you to 5, stay open so that you can explore as you live. Without openness, it's extremely difficult to explore in ways that honor you. 4, I want you to prioritize choice so that you can navigate your life and your world. There is no navigation without choice, so I want you to make sure you're out here being choosy. And 3, I want you to choose acceptance with that choice, okay? So that you can empathize while discerning and deciding concerning yourself and others. This does not mean you accept everything. This means that you accept that it is happening so that you can decide what you finna do about it, okay? And 2, I want you to encourage agency so that you can innovate when you're alone and with others. Everyone needs innovation, and in order to innovate, we all need agency. So make sure you're encouraging your agency, their agency, so that we can get your innovation and their innovation. And last but not least, I want you to value your desire. We talked about this earlier. Not someone else's desire for you, not someone else's desire for them, not someone else's desire for whatever. We want you to value your desire over here at Authentic Distinction. That's the only way that you're going to be able to activate all the things that matter to you from the actionable safe spaces that you create using my signature method of Desire, Choose, Act. Peace, love, harmony, and blessings, y'all. I'm out. I want you to stay authentic and be sure to bring your ass everywhere you go. And peace.